Hello everyone. So first of all, welcome to this next part of web development course, and that is CSS. So let me introduce you myself. This is Alok Kumar. I'm a full stack web developer. I'm mentor and cloud facilitator at DSC Geeta. If you want to connect with me or have any queries or just want to say hi, feel free to contact me. This is my Twitter handle. So today's topic is CSS. So let's dive in without wasting any time. So this is the definition that you will find in internet, that what is CSS. Let me read it out for you. Cascading style sheet is used to set the style in a web pages which contain HTML elements. So basically we use CSS to style the elements, different elements present in the web page, and how we do that we'll see, and what we do with CSS we'll see later in this video. So it helps to set the background color, font size, font family, and different extra properties of the elements. We can also describe it as CSS is the language for describing the presentation of web pages, including colors, layout, and font. So let me explain this in some simpler terms with the help of a picture. There are lots of websites in this world. For example, e-commerce websites, train ticket websites, or movie download sites. And basically, the content that we find in those websites are words and images. But we can't just simply put those content in a page. For that, we need a structure, and thus comes HTML. So, HTML provides a structure to the words and images with the help of different element tags, and then comes the part of CSS. So, CSS is used to style the structure so that it becomes more presentable and can be easily read by the users. So let's see what are the topics that we're going to cover in this video. The first one is prerequisites for learning CSS, and then CSS structure, then CSS selectors, and then we'll see what are the different ways to write CSS, and then we'll look at some examples that what are the different properties. Then we'll talk about CSS specificity, then talk about box model, and then we'll do a small project based on CSS. So let's talk about the prerequisites for learning CSS, and that is HTML. And for that, I would like to thank Aditi for doing such a great job and covering that part for us. So I hope you have watched the previous videos of Aditi and now know what is HTML. So let's move forward. So is the structure of CSS? So there in the structure of CSS, there is a selector, and with the help of selector we select a specific element or different elements, and then we set a value to a specific property. Let me explain it to you with the help of the same example. So for example, with the help of a selector we select the legs, and after that we give a value red to a property shoe. So that's how CSS works. We select a specific element or different elements with the help of a selector, and after that we set a value to a specific property. So let's talk about some basic CSS selectors. So the first one is an element selector. So how this works? Here is a small HTML code that I've written for you. It contains two paragraph elements, hi all and hi again. So we use the element name as a selector to select the element in the page, then provide a value to a specific property, and that will affect all the elements present in the page having the name that we have used as a selector. So like here, the paragraph element used as a selector will select all the paragraph elements in the page, and whatever the value will provide to a property, it will affect both the tags or both the elements in this page. So next one is an ID selector, and for ID selector we use a hash symbol to indicate to a specific ID in the page. For example, in this page we have a div element with an ID grid, and as you all know that IDs are unique, we can have a create id only to a specific element, and we can't repeat it. So with the help of an hash symbol, we'll select this a specific element, and after that we'll provide a value to a property that will affect only the div or element that contains this id. Next one is a class selector. So for class selector, we use a dot symbol, and with the help of a dot symbol, we select all the class in present in the page, and we apply a value to a property. And as you know, classes can repeat, or we can have we different elements can have the same class. And so, as you have guessed right, that with the help of class selector, we can apply styles to different elements, so that now we don't have to write again and again. If you want to apply the same style to different elements, we'll provide those elements same class, and after that we'll write styles only once, and that will be applied to both the type. For example, like here, the property that style that will provide will affect both the elements having class greet. So for example, hi and hey will be affected by the style and not the p element, means the last paragraph tag by, because we have selected only those that have class greet. And as you can see, these two have class greet, so these two will be affected by this property. Next one is a grouping selector. It works same as the element selector, just we can apply the same property to different elements with the help of comma. We can add more than one elements together. For example, in this page we have a paragraph element, a h1 element, a h3 element. So whatever the style that will provide here will affect these three. So the next one is the universal selector, and for that we use a star symbol for selecting all the elements present in the page. So when we'll apply a property, then we'll affect all the elements present in the page. We use this selector for some specific purposes, like when we want a same font to apply on the whole page, then we'll use this universal selector. So here ends the theoretical part. If you are feeling overwhelmed with what we have discussed till now, then don't worry. We'll cover all these topics with the help of example. Then it will make much more sense to you. So let's begin some coding. So firstly, we'll see what are the different ways to write CSS, and then we'll talk about some of the properties of CSS. So let's start. So as I said, we'll talk about all these in this video, and the text editor that I am using is Visual Studio Code, that is from Microsoft, and which is absolutely free. It comes with an awesome amount of extensions that you can use. Like I'm using one is called Prettier, and I'll show how it works later. And you can see we have Explorer, in which we can see the different files that I have. I have also a live server running, as you can see, index.html. So whatever that we'll do in this page, index.html, will be reflected here. So let's begin. So firstly, we'll talk about the different ways to write CSS. And the first one is inline CSS. So let's see how this works. Firstly, let's have a tag. Let's use h1 for this. Let's see it works or not. Yeah, it's working. So the way we can write inline CSS through the help of attribute. All that you have to do is to write style attribute, and whatever the style that you want to apply, you can write it inside double quotes. So as you can see, that whatever the style that I have applied to the h1 tag with the help of style attribute, it is applied here. So it's working. So if you want to add another style, all that you have to do is to put a semicolon, and whatever the another style that you want to apply, you can write it inside here, the same double quotes, and it will be applied. As you can see, we have a underline. As I have given a property of text decoration. So let's see the next way to write internal CSS. So how this works is that let's have another tag for that, and that is h2. Let's go with hey this time. So how this works is that you have to write a style element or tag inside the head tag, and after that we have to target any element in order to write style to apply on that element. So let's use element selector. So how element selector works, if you'll remember, that we have to write the name of the element, and inside the curly braces we can write the properties or styles that we want to apply. Let's go with blue this time. Hope this works. And yeah, you can see we have applied blue color to the h2 tag. So if you want to add another properties, then you can write after a semicolon here 2. So as you can see, it works again. So the next one is external CSS, and this is the most efficient way through which we can write CSS. So how this works is that all the CSS that we have written in this page, that can be written in a separate sheet, and then we'll link that sheet with this page. So as you can see, I have a different sheet as style.css. So you can name it whatever you want, but the extension should be .css. So let's see if we just copy this or cut this style from this page and write in this, will still affect or not. So as you can see, it's not affecting the h2. Why is that? Because we have not linked this style sheet with our HTML page, and for that we have to use link tag, and with a relation of style sheet and using href to connect our style CSS with our page. And now we don't need this one. So let's see it is working or not. So as you can see that the style that I have written here, targeting h2 and giving a style of color blue, it's affecting h2 of this page. As you can see, now it's of blue color and with an underline. So these are the three ways through which we can write CSS and are inline, internal, external. So moving forward, we'll discuss the rest of the selectors with the help of these examples. So the first one is color, and we have already seen how color works. So with the help of color property, you can give color to different elements or text. You can write simply the color name, or you can also give RGB value like this one. It works the same way. You can give any other RGB values like this one. And the next one is background color. And for that, let's have a div. And for this, let's use ID selector this time. And for that, we have to give a ID to this div. And let's give it ID of div box. And for targeting this, we have to use a hash symbol. And after that, we can write a property like color. Let's give it blue this time. So if you see, nothing happened really. So why is that? It's because we are giving color to a text, but this div doesn't contain any text. So let's give it a text first. So, hi, Amadi. And now you can see we have a div and with a text, hi, I'm a div. So, in order to give color to the div, we have to use background color. And if we use select anyone, so you can see now we have a div with a background color. So you can see that the color extended to the last of the screen, or you can see the across the screen. So why is that? Why it doesn't stop right here when the content ended? It's because div is a block element and it covers the whole screen. While if you see another example, which is a span element, which is an inline element which covers only the area that of the content. So if you see, let's use class selector this time. So give this span a class of span box. So if we select for using a class selector, we have to use a dot. And let's give this one a background color of cyan. So you can see here the color ended right where the text ends or the content ends. So you can see this is a span, which is an inline element which covers only the area of the content, while div is a block element which covers the whole screen. Similar wise, an h1 and h2 is also block elements which covers whole screen. So moving forward, the next one is height and width. So with the help of height and width, you can give the dimensions of the div. For example, I set the height of the div to 400 pixel and width of the div to 400 pixel. So now you can see that the height and width of the div changes. Similar thing we can do with the rest of them, like to the span or the h1. So as you know, with the help of class selector, we can target more than one element. So let's see how it's done that. Let's have another span. And let's give this a same class that we have for the previous span, that is span box. And if you see, then the same effect is with both of them. So one thing you have might have noticed that while when we added a div and we reduced the size to 400 pixels, then also this span doesn't move to here. While when we added another span, then it doesn't come here, but it moved directly to here. That's because even if we have reduced the div size to 400 pixels, then also this div is still a block element and it covers the whole area. While span is an inline and it's only up to this. So whenever the next element will come, it will come right from here. So there are ways through which we can move this span to here or also inside the div that will cover later. So next one is text. So we have also seen a text properties. Text properties contain a lot of things. One of them are text decoration. We can use another text property like text align to center, and you can see that now the text is aligned to the center. There are different other properties too for text. One of them is text shadow, and after that you have to give x and y coordinates for the shadow and the color of the shadow. And now you can see we have a shadow of red color with x and y coordinates that is moved 2 pixels. Moving forward, we have font property, and as you can assume, font property too have a lots of options like font size, that if you want to use, then we can increase the font size of the text. Then you can see I have given a font size of 40 pixels to the text. Also, with the help of font property, we can give different fonts to a text. For example, we have to use font family for that. For example, if I give it a font of cursive, then you can see the font of the text changes from default to cursive. So it's always better to use a default font along with the font that you are applying, so that in any case, if the font that you have applied doesn't work, then the default one surely works. So let's move to the last one, that is border. And for that, we have to use the keyword border. So how it works is that firstly you have to give that how much size of the border do you want, and what type of border do you want, and the color of the border. So as you can see, now we have a 2 pixel border of the color red, which is solid. You can also have different like dashed border. So let's go with solid now. You can also increase the size of the border, like we can go to 5 pixels. And as the rest of them, border also comes with different variations. One of them is border radius. And what border radius is there, that we give a border radius of 5 pixels, and now the sharp edges that we had earlier, it curved to 5 pixels. You can also increase the curve from 5 to 20 pixels to make it more clear. Now you can see that now the border is curved to 20 pixels. One use of border radius is that if we give a border radius of 50%, then you can have a circle. Now coming back, what we have discussed till now, that what are the different ways to write CSS, that is inline, internal, external. We have seen what are the different selectors, for example, element, ID selector using hash, class selector using a dot, and some properties like color, background color, height, width, different type of text properties, font properties, and border properties. In the next video, we'll see some more of the examples and cover the rest of the topics. So for now, thanks and bye bye.